Hello friends, welcome back. Today I'll show you how we can do the infrastructure automation using Terraform tool. So actually it is a small mini project on Terraform. So what we'll do, let's see. First we'll create an EC2 instance. Then we'll create a security group and whitelist the port 22. After then we'll install Minikube, that is the Kubernetes cluster using Minikube, and then we'll see how we can start it. Okay, so let's start. So it is completely the lab exercise. I'll show you how we can write the code, execute it, and we can see this on the AWS console, on the AWS UI. Okay, so let's write the code. So I am into my terminal. Okay, so let me go to the required folder. So I'm going to create the project in this folder. Okay, if you see, I'm going to create a project in this folder. So let's create a folder and name it as TF Minikube. Okay, so what we have to do first, so we have to write the provider block first. If you know how to write the Terraform, I think you can easily understand what is this provider block and how to write the provider block. Even I'll show you how you can get it from the Terraform documentations. Okay, so let's do it like you have to write like provider dot tf. Okay, and so let's go to the documentations of the Terraform. Okay, from here I'll get it like so if you go here, the use provider. Okay, so you can see here in the documentation how to use this provider. So just copy this block here from here and paste it here. So what I'm going to, and while writing this, right, you should understand what is this version and the source. So the Terraform, the block you have to write like this, the Terraform and the required providers, and you know very well what is this provider. Okay, so I'm going to use AWS provider, and the source you should have give like this /AWS and the required version. Which version do you want? And if you want to change it to a lower version, okay, you can easily change it. Like, so if I can go it here, suppose I want to use a lower versions or some versions which is required for this project. Suppose I am going to use 4.11.0. okay, then what we need to add here in the configurations options, we need to add suppose let me delete this, and here, so we have to add the region, on which region you want to add these resources, okay, or add this project. So I'll add the region equal to, suppose I'm going to use Asia Pacific Mumbai. So the code, region code for the Asia Pacific Mumbai is F South 01. Okay, sorry, Up South 1. So this is the region code of Asia Pacific Mumbai. Let's save it. So now what you wrote, we wrote the provider.tf. Now what we have to do, so we have to then create a security group. Okay, so let's write, I'm going to separate everything. Okay, I'm not going to put everything in one TF file and execute. So in the semantic format, I'm just writing all this. So for security group, I'm going to write in a separate TF file, suppose sg.tf. So here what I'm going to write, I'm going to write the resource block of security group. Okay, so just type resource, let me type resource. Okay, so what is the resource type? The resource type is you have to write the block, right? The security group name is AWS underscore security underscore group. Okay, this is the resource block, resource type. Okay, let's put it in a double quote and then give a name to it. Suppose I'll give it is like allow underscore TLS. Okay, hit enter. Good. Now in this block, what we have to write? We have to write the required configurations, okay, for the security group. Suppose let me write name, just give a name to it. Suppose I'll give as Minikube TF security group, okay, the name. And so we have to give we have to write the required inbound and outbound. If you are familiar with the AWS security group, you should know what is this inbound and the outbound. So in Terraform, the inbound, we name it as ingress. Okay, so we have to write as ingress. Let's do that. Now the ingress, we have to write the from port. Okay, so you can write the descriptions also. Write description. Let's give a description to it, like I can just give whitelist port 22. Okay, now just give from port, from underscore port 22. Similarly, you have to give to port also, to underscore port 22. Okay, and then what protocol we need to use? We need to use TCP protocol, equal to TCP. Okay, put in a double quote here. Now so see what we gave. We gave from port to port and the protocol. Then we have to provide the IP range, right? The CIDR block. So the CIDR underscore blocks equal to, so the CIDR blocks you have to put in the square bracket. Okay, so just write it down here, like suppose I'll just allow, let's make it a public, give it public /0. Okay, similarly, so we wrote our ingress. So let's write for the egress. Outbound is name as egress. Okay, so let's go for egress. Similarly, we have to write the same things. Let me copy paste all this. Okay, so whitelist port 22. So here I can just give like as it is outbound, right? So we don't need to be like provide like this. So you can just like you can provide that one also. You can say it like simply outbound. Okay, now let's make it 0 and protocol TCP, and here the protocol should be -1. Okay, and here should be public 000 all. Okay, so you'll be thinking how I'll get all this to know, and from where I can get it. So it's very simple, and if you go to the documentations of, right, so if you search it over here, AWS underscore security underscore group, right, underscore group. So you'll find the required, see, resource block here, the AWS resources under VPC. You can find it out over here. So if you go here, okay, leave it. If you go here, AWS underscore security underscore group, you'll find the code how exactly you can write it out. See, this is how you can write the ingress and the egress of it. So here they have used so some variables added, some dynamically changed the CIDR block. So this is little advanced one. So how we can dynamically add this one. Okay, so you can easily see here is the egress part. You can copy this egress part and put it over there. Okay, so here egress part. So ingress part, you have to be like, which port do we need to provide access, you have to provide. Like suppose you want the port to be provided like 8080, then you have to write another ingress block here and give the port 80 and 80 here. Okay, so now you understood how to write this AWS underscore security resource block. So we are done with resources, security resources. Now let's write for the EC2 instances. Okay, so I'll just name it as EC2.tf. The resource block, you have to write resource double quote, and here AWS underscore instance. The resource type is AWS underscore instance we are going to create. So I can give it as my EC2. Okay, okay, now what are the things we need for the resource block of AWS instance? So to create an instance, what we basically need, we need an AMI, right? Amazon machine image. So first provide AMI, going to get. So how and from where you will get the AMI? Okay, so you have to log into your AWS. Okay, from there, if you go to the instances, right, AMI sections, go to the AMI sections. Okay, and we don't have any AMIs available, right? So let's go to the instances. If I go launch instance, and here you can see all the AMIs available here. Okay, suppose I want to use AMI of Ubuntu. Okay, so what do you have to do? You can see here, suppose I want to use the 20.04 versions. It's up to you which AMI you want to use it. So this is the AMI. You should have a list of AMIs available with you while you writing the Terraform code. For a demo purpose, I am showing you where you can get the AMIs. Okay, now get the AMI and go here, just use this one. Then what do we need? We need the instance type. You know, what type of instance do you need? The instance type. So instance underscore type, and the instance type I'm going to use t2.medium. Okay, because I'm going to install Minikube, right? So Minikube is required minimum of 4 GB of RAM and minimum of 2 core of CPU, right? All is required. So that's why I'm going to use T2 medium. Okay, so if you go here, you can find suppose choose this one. If I go to the instance type over here, right, I'm going to use T2 medium. So 2 CPUs here, 4 memories. So remember, the T2.medium is not falling under free tier eligible. Okay, so whenever you are going to use T2 medium, make sure you destroy it or you terminated the instances. Okay, so now we wrote instance type is T2 medium. Then what we need to put in one of the availability zone, right? So let's write it. So availability underscore zone equal to, suppose you know, the availability zone, right? As I have used AP South 1 like Asia Pacific Mumbai, so I have to write AP South, suppose I'm going to use 1A. So this is the availability zone I'm going to use. Next, what we need the VPC security group ID. Okay, this VPC security group ID to attach that one. So what we have to write, VPC underscore security underscore group. We can provide the IDs. Okay, so what is this VPC security group IDs? We have to, because see, we are, whatever the security group we created, that we are going to attach into this AWS instance. Okay, whatever the instance we are going to create, it will be attached, the security group what we created. Okay, here So how we'll get that security group? Okay, so we have to use dynamically here. Suppose, so what is the resource type? First you have to write the resource type. Okay, AWS in underscore security underscore group. So this is the resource type, and the name of the resource what we had given, that we had given as dot allow underscore TLS. Okay, that was given, and dot, then we have to use the attribute. The attribute name is ID. Okay, we are going to get the security group ID attached to the instances. Okay, whatever the instance will be created, it will be attached. So we are going to see how we have to write. You have to write the resource, what resource we are going to add. So we are going to add AWS underscore security underscore group. This is the resource type and the name of the resource, and here the ID is the attribute. Okay, so you can get it from the documentation also. Fine. Now, so once you added this one, we have to okay, that's all. So we attached all these things. Now what we need, this will create the instance. Okay, now what we have to do after the instance is created, what is the requirement? After the instance is created, we have to install the Minikube. Okay, the Kubernetes cluster we have to install on the instances. Okay, now let's write the code. So here we are going to use a provisioner. Okay, in Terraform we have a provisioner. You can see provisioner. Okay, provisioner. Now what type of provisioner I'm going to use? I'm going to use the remote hyphen exec, because I'm going to remotely execute it. So that I'm going to use remote hyphen exec. So there are three types of provisioner. Remember, remote exec, local exec, and file. So I'm going to use remote exec to execute the commands on the remote machine. Okay, after immediately the instance is created, these commands will be executed. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just using the remote exec. Then in the remote exec, you have to write inline. Okay, so in this inline sections, you have to add the list of commands which you want to execute. Okay, so there are lots of procedures to install the Minikube. So I have written the commands, what are the things is required for that. Okay, so let me just copy all this and put it over here. So okay, so what things are being used here? Let me just do the rearrangement. Okay, so first what I've written here, just updating the operating system. So once it is procured, once it's provisioned, we are going to update, and then we are going to install the Docker engine here. After then, we are going to download the latest version of Minikube. After that, just changing the executable permissions, then copying the executable whatever was downloaded to the user local bin directory and renaming it as Minikube. Okay, after then we are going to download the kubectl using call command over here. Okay, so simply kubectl, we're downloading it here, and then similarly changing the permissions, giving the executable one, and then copying the kubectl to the user local bin directory. Okay, and after then we are just modifying and creating one modifying the user. Okay, Docker user and Ubuntu, we are adding the Docker under this Ubuntu so that we can execute and start the Minikube cluster with the normal user. Okay, so that's all. So you have to write in the inline block. remember we are going to use this remote exec provisioner, and under this we have to use this inline block, and you have to put all the commands whatever you are going to execute. Okay, so after then what we need the, okay, so we added these things to be executed, but how it will be done? So we need a connection to the instances whatever is created, right? So we have to write the connection. Now, so we have to write a connection block here. So inside this provisioner, okay, inside this provision, sorry, so we have to write a connection block. So connection, and what we have to write here, the type of connection. How do you want to connect to the machine type? So we have to use, we are going to use SSH, okay, and then the host, we need the host name or the IP address, right? So what is the host name? As we are under the same AWS instance resource block, right? What are we going to do? We are going to use the resource block, right? We are going to use the resource block. So this resource, the IP address of the instances, okay. So, and as we are under, so we have to write self dot, the attribute we have to write public underscore IP, okay, self dot public underscore IP, and then, so remember it should not be under double quote. Now we have to write the user. What is the user to be, that to execute? So to use as Ubuntu, because so default user ID of Ubuntu operating system is Ubuntu. Okay, now we need a key to connect. So we need the private key, the certificate which you download while creating any user or creating any certificate file in the AWS console, right? So we have to use that one. So use private underscore key. So it is private underscore key will be like, so you have to provide the file, and the file, suppose I have kept it on my this current directory, okay, so you have to keep in the current directory, suppose file, and you have to write it like give sorry, give the bracket here, and within the double quote you have to write the path where the certificate file is available. Okay, so the certificate file is available suppose in my current directory, so I'll just use it, and the certificate name is my new key.pem. okay, so now how you will get this certificate, how you will get this certificate? Now let's go to the AWS console. Okay, so if I go to the EC2 instances, go to the dashboard, you can see here one key pair option is available here, right? Just key pair, just click on this key pair, and you will find lots of keys whatever you have created. Okay, so what is this? So I am going to use this key pair to connect to the EC2 instances. I have already this key pair available on my system. With that certificate I am going to connect to the EC2 instances. Okay, now, okay, so let's go here. Okay, so here so we have given here, okay, the curly braces, it should not be here. Let's delete this, and because we are going to put everything in the this one resource block here, okay, in this block, so let's go ahead and put it down over here. Good, so everything under this resource block. So let me minimize this one so it will be better visible. Okay, good. So all this we have put in this resource block. So connection type, and we need to get this certificate first. Okay, so now you understood how you have to write all this, and these are how it is going to be executed. Okay, let's save it. Now we have, if you go to this folder, we have provider.tf, sg security group.ts, and ec2.tf. So we don't have our key file available. Okay, we don't have the key file available. So let's go and copy the key file to this current directory. Okay, so I'm going to do copy. So the file is available. Okay, to the current directory. So if you see it here, yeah, I got my certificate file here. Now with this file we can able to connect. Okay, so we have now written all the required Terraform files. Now let's initialize first. So you know when you are going to execute something, first you have to initialize the AWS provider plugin. Okay, so what is the command? You have to use Terraform init. So if everything, the code is fine, everything looks okay, then it will be executed properly, or else it will throw some warnings and errors. Okay, so what it says here, initializing the backend, initializing the provided plugins. So here you can see the version 4.11 we have used. Okay, so just wait for a second. Yeah, so you can see here it is now done. Now let's go ahead and see, do a plan and see how it is. Okay, so use Terraform plan. So before applying, it is always being advisable to do a plan and check what, based on your requirement, what are things that are going to be created. Okay, so the plan is success, and since there is no error, so what are the things are going to be created? If you go little off, you can see here. So we are going to be use this AWS underscore instance we are going to create, and my EC2 will be, it is created, and here is the AMI what is being used, and instance type T2 medium. Okay, so all this are getting created, and the security group also we are going to create. This is the outbound and this is the inbound port 22 we are going to set up. Okay, so what is this? It is going to add 2 resources. Okay, 0 to change, 0 to destroy it. So all are good. Now let's go ahead and apply, do a Terraform apply. Terraform apply. Hit enter. Okay, enter a value. Yes. Good. So it is just creating first the security group here. Okay. Just wait for a few seconds and it will be done. So you can see here it is after the EC2 instance is created, it is trying to connect to the host, and this is the public IP. See, you got the host name is this public IP. The instance is created and it is trying to connect using the key. Okay, so it is not able to connect. See, it is not able to connect. Even though we provided the private key, it is not able to connect. So let's terminate it. Let's terminate it and do a Terraform destroy. If anything is created, it will be destroyed. Okay, and I can use auto approve. So there is a mistake we have done, like we provided the certificate, but see, though it is failed in the connection type, it has already created the security group and the EC2 instances. Okay, so to destroy, so it is going to destroy both the security group as well as the EC2 instances. Okay, so we have to change and add something here. Just wait this one to destroy first. Okay, so if you go here and check your EC2.tf, so we have added in the connection the private key. So we have given this key to connect in the provisioner block. However, we failed to add this into our EC2 instances resource block. Okay, so what we have to do, let's go ahead and add it here, the key name. Okay, so we can add the key name here. So you have to write like key underscore name equal to the name of the key which you are going to use. Okay, so we can simply copy this name and put it here. So my new key. Okay, so we got this one. And if you want to provide a tag to the EC2 instances, you can easily go ahead and add a tag into here. Okay, suppose let me add the tags, give a name to the tag. Suppose I can give Minikube instance. This is the name of the tag. Okay, got it. So this is optional. If you want to provide it, you can give it, or else you can leave. Okay, now we need this mandatory thing is key underscore name and provide the key name here. This is the key name. Okay, now let's go ahead and do a Terraform plan. Let's see if everything fine. Yeah, all good. So let's apply Terraform. Do a Terraform apply. Terraform apply. I'm doing this time auto approve. Auto approve. What it says, okay, spell, there is a typo, it should be a U. Auto approve. Okay, good. Now let's wait for a minute. Okay, so it's now adding two resources, right? First creating the security group is created, and this is the ID, and then it is going to create the EC2 instance. Okay, so it's going to create the EC2 instance. Wait for it. Yeah, it's created, and now it is trying to connect. This is the public IP. Okay, see here, it is now connected, right? After that, what it's doing, see, it is now connected. Now after that, what it's doing, it is trying to install and execute the commands in the inline block. So it is executing all these things. Good. Yeah, so let's wait for a few minutes. So it will go ahead and install all the softwares whatever we need. Okay, and it will execute all the complete commands. So you can see here progress. Well, good. So apply is completed now, all completed to added. So let's go ahead and check the same things in the UI. Okay, so if I go our EC2 dashboard and go and check the instances, see, we have one instance which is now running. Okay, so it is now initializing. Let's go ahead, and this is EC2 instance, and this is the instance ID, and check the security group whether the security group is added or not. Yeah, so this is Minikube-tf, the security group is added, and this is only the port number 22 is whitelisted. Okay, the security group type is this one. Now we are all good. Let's go ahead and connect this public IP, using this public IP, connect to the server and check whether the Minikube is installed or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me, because we have used the certificate, right? My new key, right? So use ssh -i, then the user default user is ubuntu @ the IP address. Hit enter. Yes, yeah, we can able to connect to the server. Okay, now if I go ahead and check the Minikube version, see, the Minikube is installed successfully. Minikube is installed successfully, and this is the commit ID. Okay, now you know how we can procure or provision an EC2 instances using Terraform, okay, and how we can install the softwares after provisioning. Hope you understand the complete scenario and the complete project. And if you have any doubt or anything, you can just put me in the you have just put the comments in the comment line section. If you have not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe, and thank you. So see you in our next video. Okay.